James Harden still closing in on a possible 50-point game. He's at 48. Look at this possession. You don't want to foul him.
I'm not sure he can be worn down.
Ugh.
He makes that play look so easy. Right there, James Harden making another big defensive play. Took a big charge earlier in the night. That tip there starts the whole process. PJ finishes it off.
Right through Kuzma's hands, out of bounds. And so it's 134-132. Houston's going to get the ball back and presumably try to get it to Harden, who will have a chance to get to 50 for the third straight game. Rockets spent most of the night trailing. In fact, never led in regulation. It's remarkable. They got to overtime, trailed by as many as 21 along the way. Harden, as I mentioned, has 48 on 30 shots. He's 12 of 15 from the free throw line. 6 assists, 8 points.
And Brandon Ingram, 9 of their 12 in overtime.
Yeah.
Really starting to find his aggressiveness and starting to believe a little bit more in himself, I think.
I have never heard two guys root harder for a second overtime. Harder than you two right now, hoping that Harden can get the ball one more time.
I've fallen completely for this whole 50-point thing.
Yeah.
I told you earlier in the night.
You did. You said
he's going to get there.
You called it. When it looked like there was no chance, he predicted that we were going to wind up in overtime.
Why? Because James Harden. That's why.
Exactly. So, and they just got it in, and I didn't.
Eric
He may not be going to the line. Eric Gordon's going to
not be going to the line.
So he may not get to 50. We'll see.
It's an outrage, Czar.
Here's what happened a moment ago. That's the foul on Eric Gordon. Now, still 10.7 to go, and L.A., regardless of what happens at the free throw line, L.A., who is out of timeouts, is going to want to get a shot up quickly, obviously. So there's still a chance that Harden gets the ball back in his hands and gets to the free throw line for 50.
Or Harden could go up and foul the other player right away, potentially.
A Ricky Davis moment. Doctoring up the triple-double,
stop the
doctoring
clock.
up the 50-pointer.
That would be great. Gordon hit the first. And Eric Gordon, remember, missed 8 games, that knee injury. And he now has 28 points and gave the Rockets a 4-point lead. Lakers come back the other end, get a layup with 4.9 to go. You're going to see. And guess what?
I think we may have a Jamal Murray 48-point moment.
Yeah, it was Gordon again who got fouled. You didn't see on the back end of that, so I don't think James Harden is going to get that 50.
Heartbreaking.
I'm reluctant to say it.
Heartbreaking, Coach.
Sometimes it just doesn't go your way.
But it looks like the game is going to, which is a remarkable thing considering where they were for most of the night.
And Eric Gordon's fourth quarter and overtime period, tremendous for the Rockets. They've really lacked that. In his absence, James was absolutely having to carry all of the burden. And I think he carried it very well, quite frankly. And I was saying earlier, I don't know that he can get tired. The ease with which he gets that step-back 3 up, it almost doesn't matter who contests, how good the contest is. He creates just enough space, and he's got such balance and rhythm with that shot. It looks like it's completely effortless.
This is a huge win for them because with Capella, with Chris Paul being out, the fact that they could come back from being down the way they were and win this one, take this game home, put it in the W column, that's huge for them.
Yeah, and the Rockets just 3-4 over their last 7 games. You know, the context of this is they're trying to survive with all these injuries. Capella's out and Chris Paul is out. And they've got guys on 10-day contracts playing. You don't normally see 10-day guys play for teams that are considered contenders when the season begins at this point in the season. But they're just finding bodies and putting people in place.
And because Daniel House's 2-way contract, his days with the varsity were up on that contract, and he did not agree to a new deal. He wanted a longer, better deal. And Houston couldn't come to an agreement. They're going to have to bring in another G League player to represent what Daniel was giving them. But Daniel played very well during that stretch. Without Gordon, without Chris Paul, they were still winning, and Daniel was a big contributor to that.
Is Fareed coming in to join this team? Is that
is the report,
the report that Kenneth Fareed will go from Brooklyn
buy out in Brooklyn and land on the Houston roster, where presumably he'll take up Clint Capella's minutes until Capella gets back. But it'll be interesting to see what he has. We've barely seen Fareed play over the last couple of seasons, maybe longer than that now, hardly at all with the Brooklyn Nets. You're talking about one of the most active players in the league on the boards, on the offensive boards when he was at his best, but we just haven't seen much of him lately.
Well, and Coach, you've seen this happen, I'm sure, very often. When a player comes back from injury or he's missed a great deal of time, initially when he gets to a new team, there's going to be that burst of adrenaline. He'll play really well, but eventually you get to the point where you can only do so much in aggregate. It'll be interesting to see how much Fareed has in the tank.
It's a final now in Houston, 138-134. The Rockets get the comeback win after trailing by as many as 21. James Harden's 50-point streak comes to an end, but he settles for 48. And over his last 22 games or so, he has averaged more than 40 points a game. It's a remarkable thing. He also scores his 19th straight game of at least 30 points or more, if that does anything for you. Here he is with Lisa Salters afterwards. So James Harden, with his 163 points over the last 3 games, has the fourth most in a 3-game stretch since the NBA merger, which happened in the 1976-77 season. 163. Kobe Bryant, a couple of stretches bigger. Michael Jordan with 165 back in 1990. And with every passing game, guys, he just keeps adding his name to these lists.
You see what I said? He's not even straining. Look at the image of James. He's the only one who doesn't have his mouth open in some sort of exerting way.
MJ's got
it's
the tongue
too
out.
easy for
Kobe
James.
looks very intense, and Harden looks like he's headed to the grocery store.
I'm not convinced he even sweats, Coach.
All kind of, interestingly, all kind of similar size players that have that number of points in those games. Wow.
I guess we can have this discussion again because we've talked about it, but doesn't this take a toll on a player? I mean, I feel like we saw 2 years ago where he ran out of steam in the playoffs. Maybe that was a result of the season behind him. Maybe it was just the series. Maybe it was the finality of it weighing on him. I don't know. But it seems like the kind of usage rates we're seeing, the responsibilities, the mental toll as well as the physical toll has got to catch up with him sooner or later.
The coach understands that you have to do what you have to do. And Mike D'Antoni obviously knows that for them to have any chance of winning, he has to be on the floor a significant amount of minutes. But then we see what happened to LeBron. Is that an accumulation of the minutes and the years piling up on him? Is that why finally, his body has a serious injury? And you would think that James Harden, each night he's going out there putting 40-plus minutes on the floor to get them or try to get them another win is adding up on that body.
It's fascinating because James glides out there. He plays at his own pace. He's not somebody who ever looks terribly frenetic. LeBron is somebody who can be a freight train in full court, and you see him exerting incredible effort to run down the floor. Now, he's an amazing athlete in his own right, but the work rate and the toll it takes on his body to be almost 6'9", 265, 270 pounds is different than the way James plays, with James taking step backs that he just sort of slides into and saunters from side to side with. He's really not exerting all that much energy. I mean, you saw him do the post-game interview. There was not a bead of sweat on that man. It is remarkable. He has found a way to measure himself throughout a game, still made key defensive plays tonight as well.
It's an amazing stretch we're seeing right now from James Harden. Houston gets the win tonight in overtime, 138, 130.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boogie. Going to the rack. How serious was that move? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boogie. Man, oh man, I could take a few more of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boogie. And Boogie hammers it on the run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boogie. Somebody woke up Boogie. Well timed.
You watch DeMarcus Cousins play, you see all the talent, you see the numbers. Not too many big guys at his size is that agile, that mobile, can shoot the three, put the ball on the floor, get to the basket.
He could be the best big man in the NBA. He got so much physical talent.
Boogie for 3. Unbelievable. Left going to the rim and dunked it on a wind-up right-hand finish.
And DeMarcus Cousins can't go.
He's holding that left lower leg area in the area of his Achilles.
It's one of the most unique free agent situations we've seen in a lot of years.
I'm a warrior.
In gigantic news, DeMarcus Cousins has agreed to a one-year, $5.3 million deal with the defending champion Golden State Warriors.
No dropping me to the ground, 'cause it's going down undefeated.
Apparently nobody else wanted DeMarcus Cousins. He didn't get one single offer.
Well, my main goal is to win a championship. That's what I'm signing up for.
When the injury happened, he's getting ready to sign a year max contract. Think about that.
Look at the work Boogie has put in just to come back. Think about the work ethic it takes to get all the way back physically from where he was.
I'm improving each and every day. I'm getting strong each and every day. And, it's a matter of time before I'm back on the floor.
We're definitely excited to have him. He's been working hard. It's been a long year for him. I'm looking forward to just seeing him out on the floor, just doing something that he loves again.
You can shoot, you can space the floor, you can do it all. He's a monster on the boards, and he's going to be great.
It'll be a lot of emotions, honestly. And, I don't think anybody could ever really understand this, and I don't really expect them to unless they've experienced it themselves.
This is something that other teams have never had to worry about with Golden State. They can now actually produce offense from the inside out with a true big.
Maybe Boogie is the wrinkle in the injection of energy that this Warriors team is really looking for this season.
I'm excited to see what we look like once DeMarcus gets his feet underneath him. I think we got a chance to be really good.
Undefeated.
Well, Boogie certainly gave us a lot to talk about in his first 14 minutes for the Golden State Warriors on Friday. Four-time All-Star, scored the first 2 points of his first game, and then DeMarcus Cousins ended up with 14 points, hitting 3 of his 4 three-pointers. 3D, it looks like that moniker of Splash Cousins. It's going to stick, especially after those open looks he got in his first game. How was he so wide open?
Well, he's playing with great players and obviously playing with 3 flamethrowers. It's just going to create so much space. So I think he may take a few games to get used to that, to have 3 guys on the floor that any given night they can go for 40 or 50. And on the flip side of that, they're willing to share the basketball. He's going to have to get used to so many guys willing to give him the ball. So when you watch some of these plays, first play of the game, you talk about the dunk. Well, it's because Kevin Durant has the basketball. He comes off the screen. You have to. Gortat has to honor Kevin Durant. He gets the easy dunk. You look at the bench, everyone's applauding. Now you throw him in the mid-post. Look at the patience. He's never had a Steph Curry or a Klay Thompson on the floor at the same time. You have to honor them. Easy layup. So now you're saying flow of the game, great spacing, play good defense, contest his shot. Now, wait a minute. Big Cuz gets out run, bumps into a defender, keeps running, and Kevin Durant, once again, unselfish, the perfect bounce pass boost. I think Cuz, once he gets into basketball shape, you know this, he's going to have so much fun, less pressure, because you heard Iguodala at the end of the game, man, keep shooting. He's like, I don't want to shoot too much. I've never been in a situation like this. I think he's going to have a lot of fun this year.
Yeah, absolutely. He's playing with great players around him, all Hall of Famers, great coaching staff. They want you to have success. They feed you into that environment. Like you said, Iguodala after the game was saying, we want you to shoot more. You're going to be open a lot because you're playing with 3 guys that are averaging over 20 points a game, playing very well. I think, as you said, as he gets in better basketball shape, he could have some big numbers with that team.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Well, we're out here. The guy with the ball leads. He leads the way. It's your turn.
Hold on now.
Who I get to be?
You get to be Steph Curry.
Get the shot.
Huh?
Here we go.
Now, if you shoot, you got to make it. I'm going to be KD. You know, DMV. You're going to be
Boogie.
All right, let's talk about the first play.
3D.
So the first play, Kevin Durant has the basketball, and he's pointing at Cuz. Now, look at the spacing. You got Steph Curry over there, you got Klay Thompson over there, so the whole middle of the floor is wide open. So now he's telling him to come, he sets the screen out here, he turns. Now, because it's Kevin Durant, you saw they have to honor this simple bounce pass. Now he gets all the way to the rim, and he stretches out for the dunk. Now we're going to go to that second play we saw. I'm going to be Klay Thompson now, and you're going to be Steph Curry at the top of the key area. So once again, we talk about player movement, ball movement. That's normally Draymond Green. So now Klay comes down, hits the ball. We call this a hold. Why we hold? Because all that area is down there. Now I'm going to run over here and be Draymond Green. Now I'm going to set this screen. Now this Steph Curry coming off for an easy layup. You have to honor that, all right? Now the last play, we're going to shoot. I'm going to be Klay Thompson again. You're going to pop out. Now I'm hitting. We're cutting. I'm coming over here. I'm Klay. Now you're cutting to the basket. Now you pop back. Now you're wide open for the shot. And I think that's the part last night Cousins was talking about. I'm going to have so much ISOs or one-on-ones on the weak side of the floor because of all the cutting and all the team being so unselfish.
Yep, and for Boogie, when he was in Sacramento, he was the guy. And in New Orleans, it was Boogie AD. Maybe you consider Drew Holiday as that similar threat. Yeah. But in Golden State, Steph Curry is a threat when he comes past half court. Same thing with Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant. So there's more floor spacing for DeMarcus Cousins. He's going to adjust to that quickly.
Oh, it's going to be great for him. He's going to have so much room to operate. You got shooters spreading the whole floor out. Everybody's at the three-point line. So when he gets the ball on the box right here, he can go one-on-one. Who's they going to double off of?
Right.
Maybe Draymond.
So, no, hold on. Stay there. So you be Steph at the top. I'm going to be Klay. You go a little deeper in the post.
Yeah.
And now, if it's KD or if it's Klay or if it's Steph, we call it hit and hold, or you stay, or you hit and cut. Where are you doubling from? You're going to double off Klay, 14 threes. You're going to double off of Steph, 13 threes. You're going to double off KD. I think he's made 9 or 10 threes in the game.
Yeah.
So this is think about this for a second. The Golden State Warriors have never had this. Whew. Think about this for a second. They've already won 3 championships, but they never had a guy that they could throw the ball into the post and guys just space out and wait and you pick your poison where you're going to double team from.
And they've also never had a stretch 5. What we mean by that is he had 3 3-pointers in the game.
Yep.
The Golden State Warriors, in this run that they've had, they've never had a center hit 3 3-pointers in the entire time that they've played with a team. It's never happened.
Never happened.
From that point of view, that they're a threat offensively, defensively. Boogie fouled out, but you like that effort from him.
Yeah, that's part of that's just getting back in basketball shape. You know, he hasn't been playing against live bodies in over a year, so he's going to be a little bit behind, a little step slow. His leg's going to feel a little bit more today than they did yesterday. But once he gets back in basketball shape, like 3D keeps talking about, those fouls will go down and down and down, and he's going to have a lot of success.
It's just fun, man. It's when you have 5 guys on the floor thinking the same way, share. He has a better shot. I have a good shot. My teammate hits a better shot. Move without the basketball. Help to helper. All those phrases we use every night. He's finally on the franchise and the team that everyone's on the same page, and they're trying to win another championship.
2 in a row. Golden State Warriors looking for that third. Boogie looks like he's going to be a big piece of that. Victor Oladipo had his All-NBA breakout season last year. This year, the Pacers remain near the top of the Eastern Conference standings. We'll hear from Indiana's best player next.